Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing another pregnancy update, going over weeks 23 through 25 in my pregnancy. I'm looking a little holiday today because we just went to downtown, it's called City Creek, and shot some photos of my fabulous new outfit from New York & Company in front of the big Christmas tree. So if you follow me on Instagram at Style by Cassie, you'll probably be seeing those quite soon. But let's go ahead and jump into it, shall we? So let's see, we're starting at week 23. Okay, so week 23, baby is the size of a grapefruit, 11 inches and 2.2 pounds. I'm guessing baby girl is still measuring ahead of that because I think at 21 weeks, she was already 1.1 pounds. So we're probably a little heavier than that at 23 weeks. So this week I gained like maybe half a pound. It was a pretty small change in weight gain this week. I did have quite a few early riser mornings. We've talked about this before, just with the circadian rhythms changing in your body due to all the hormones. I was just waking up super early for no reason. I definitely noticed the Linnea Negra coming in a little bit darker. And let's see, this was the week of my baby shower. So Jordan, this was the first week Jordan actually felt the baby for weeks and weeks, because I've been feeling baby since like 13 or 14 weeks. So this was the first time I would like have Jordan put his hand on my stomach when I knew she was moving around, and he'd be like, I don't feel anything. So this was the first week that I actually like put his hand on my stomach and she moved and he could feel it on the outside. So that was super exciting. And then, as I mentioned, it was baby shower week. So that Friday, both my mom and sister and then Jordan's mom and stepdad all got into town. And Jordan's mom and stepdad, their big gift to us was the dresser. So they got that all put together on Friday so we could start putting her clothes in it, which was so exciting for me. And it's so funny, when they first built it, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much space. We're never gonna fill all of this baby clothes, it's so small. And yeah, we're filling it up. I mean, there's definitely still space right now, but I still have another baby shower and still have some other things to buy. So it is going to be chock full. But yes, so that was really exciting. They also brought with them the dresser that we're using. And then at my baby shower, my parents got us our rocking chair that we wanted. So basically the whole nursery is outfitted already with all of the big things, which is such a blessing. And I will definitely be doing some like nursery update reveal type stuff. It is still a mess at this moment in time, but it's coming along slowly but surely. So that was really exciting. So this was my family baby shower. I'm having two. I think I've discussed this previously. So this was just the family shower, and I got a whole lot of blankets and a whole lot of clothes, which is so funny because my sister, who is also pregnant, was reading an article about like the most popular things you get at baby showers, and it was blankets and clothes. So that was 100% true for our shower too. So we were all set on blankets, and it was really sweet because we actually got a lot of like handmade things, whether it was like we got a crochet bunny from one of Jordan's mom's friends. We had 2 handmade quilts for baby girl, and then Jordan's stepdad made the most beautiful bookcase. I fell in love with this one that was like I think $400 on Amazon. It was a Baby Leto cactus bookshelf. And in case I haven't mentioned it here yet, the nursery theme is like Southwest Desert. And so I was like, that would be so perfect. And he saw it and was like, oh, I could make that. And I was like, oh, really? Like, how do you bend it? Like, I'm not a DIY metalworks person, so to me that looks very difficult. And he was like, oh, I could totally make that. And he did, and it is beautiful. It looks even better than the $400 one on Amazon. So we're so excited. It's going to be like the most special little corner in the nursery. We're gonna have that in front of like the play mat with the toys around it. It's like gonna be a whole little vignette. So excited. So that was the baby shower. It was so much fun. It was Mama Llama themed because I love all things like boho llama. So that was the theme of the shower. It was so much fun. We got spoiled. Yeah, I wish I would have taken more videos that day to show you, but there's a lot of moments like that along the way where I thought I would want to videotape more of these things, but I'm finding as they're happening, I just want to be living in the moment and enjoy them. So I might add in a couple photos here and there, but yeah, I did not bring my camera to film at that baby shower. So week 24, baby's the size of a pomegranate. So 11.5 inches and 1.3 pounds. So as baby is growing, I noticed starting in week 24, I started to grow quite a bit as well. So week 23 to week 24, I gained 2 pounds, which was a big jump for me, which was okay because I think at week 23, I had gained like 9 pounds total in my entire pregnancy. So for 23 weeks along, only gaining 9 pounds is not a lot. Like, it's not concerning, but it's not a ton. So then gaining 2 pounds during week 24, going up to 11 pounds the whole pregnancy is not a big deal. But I was like, okay, we got some momentum, we're moving. So big changes for week 24, a lot more movement. So prior to this, I would say there was probably like 2 or 3 spurts throughout the day where I would feel her. So like shortly after breakfast, I'd feel her moving around a little bit. And then in the afternoon between like 3 and 5 p.m., she'd have like a little activity spree. And then when I laid down for bed about 10 o'clock, I would feel her again. So it was just like 3 times a day I would feel her. Well, I would say around week 24, it got bumped up to probably like 5 spurts a day when I was feeling her moving around. My mom and Jordan's mom, when they were in town baby shower weekend, they both got to feel the baby move. So that was really exciting. Everyone officially got to feel her. Week 24, I also started noticing the increased urination that everyone talks about, which is funny because you'd think I would have had that earlier on, because for some people that's like one of their first pregnancy symptoms, and I have not had that. Even with getting better about drinking my water and doing the 64 ounces a day, I really wasn't noticing like going to the bathroom more than normal until about week 24. Then I felt like I needed to go more often, and then when you do go, it's like not that much, but that happened. My belly started feeling really stretched and like tight, and I remember telling people like, I don't understand how it's gonna keep growing. Like, I feel like I don't have any more room. And we'll get to that a little bit later because that continued for a few weeks. And then I had something come up that I still don't know what it is. I mentioned before I've gotten some stretch marks like on my chest, which is fine because those are covered. But I have something going on like my thighs, like the sides of my thighs. But right now they look like spots. They don't look like stretch marks. And this first started, I wrote it down for week 24. And so I was like, is this the beginning of like spider veins or varicose veins? Or are these going to become stretch marks? Like, I just wasn't sure. But as I'm recording this, I'm like 27 weeks and they're still just spots. So I don't know what these spots mean. I don't know what they're gonna turn into, but I wrote down during week 24, like, are these spider veins? So I would not call them spider veins yet, but there's definitely something going on, and we'll see what it turns into, if anything. Okay, week 25, baby is the size of an eggplant, 13 inches, 1.5 pounds. So I gained another 2 pounds, week 24 to 25, so up to 13 pounds total throughout pregnancy. I noticed again, I was waking up really early, and I said her movements feel more full. So it's not as like, oh, fluttery or just like, ooh, I think she flipped, like a little flip flop. Like these are feeling like kicks and jabs and like full range of motion kind of movements. I mentioned again about the marks on my thighs, and then dry mouth. So this was an interesting one because I definitely think I've gone through spurts throughout pregnancy. There have been like weeks in a row where I'm like 64 ounces every day, I'm killing it. And then there's other times, whether it's just like I end up having to go work in the office, or I'm just kind of like off my normal rhythm where I'm not getting my 64 ounces a day. Like I still have my 32 ounce minimum, but I'm usually like somewhere in between. And so I noticed during week 25, I was like, okay, maybe I've just not been doing well enough with hydration. Let's make sure I'm getting those 64 ounces. So then I made sure to get my 64 ounces a day, but I was still waking up in the middle of the night with like the worst dry mouth. Like it was the Sahara Desert. I just needed to like, I would wake up being thirsty and I would like have to drink water before I could fall back asleep. And it was so strange. That's like the only time I've really had that, except for days where I know I probably only had 32 ounces or around there. And then I feel like waking up with dry mouth makes sense. But this week, for some reason, I just could not get enough water. So that was week 25. That was the roundup. I feel like, goodness, so much is happening. So week 24, I also had another appointment with the certified nurse midwives. And so I think I mentioned before, there are 6 of them on staff at the hospital I'm delivering at. And so for this appointment, I met with the 3rd, I think, out of the 6th. And each one I've met, I've really enjoyed. I got to just ask all the questions. I always bring a list of questions. I have like notes in my phone that I just am adding to. So this week, some of the questions that I talked to them about was taking baths. So I've heard really good things about taking baths throughout pregnancy, just to keep everything like moisturized for stretching. But then I also hear the people who are like, oh, beware of like the water being too hot. Like it can, I don't remember what it can do, but like you're supposed to be careful of your water being too hot in baths. So I asked them about that and they're like, well, just don't take baths that are longer than 15 minutes. You'll probably be fine. And I was like, oh, well, that's an easy rule to live by. Cause I mean, I'm not one of those people that can just go sit in the bath for an hour. I get bored. Like what I've been doing lately is turning on one of the hypnobirthing meditations that are like 10 to 12 minutes. And that is like plenty of time for me to sit in the bath. So got my answers on that. I also asked because baby has been measuring large all along, but I didn't know if large meant like the baby was going to come early or if we were just going to have a chunky baby. And so I asked about that and like if that has any bearing on when the baby comes. And she said, you know, it's really a toss-up. It's hard to say, but that they will continue to track baby's growth. And I think it's if you start measuring more than I think it's centimeters. I could be off on that measurement, but I'm pretty sure if it's like 2 centimeters ahead of where like normal would be, that's when they start talking about inducing early at like 38, 39 weeks. As of right now, we're measuring 1 centimeter ahead. So as of right now, we're still fine and safe to continue towards my normal due date, which is good because I really don't want to get induced. Those were, I think, the main takeaways. They measured baby, and I just went through my list of questions. I feel like there was probably, red raspberry leaf tea. So again, I'm trying to go through things through pregnancy, like a little more on the natural side as far as like helping labor and delivery along. And so I asked about red raspberry leaf tea because I've heard great things, but I didn't know exactly when to start that. And I was really shocked because I feel like a lot of people start this around like either 20 weeks or like at the beginning of 3rd trimester, so 28 weeks. And my nurse midwives actually recommended I don't start red raspberry leaf tea until like 35 weeks. And so the red raspberry leaf tea is just supposed to help your uterus. It's supposed to help soften your cervix so that you have an easier labor. And so I don't know if there's like concern of it kickstarting labor too early or something. I will say the one YouTuber that I follow that I got that trick from, she starts at the beginning of, she might be 20 weeks, and she always has her babies at like 36, 37 weeks. So maybe there is something about that. Like if you start it earlier, your baby comes earlier and they want to make sure it cooks for the whole time. I don't know. But yes, they said wait till 35, 36 weeks to start the red raspberry leaf tea. So that's what I'm gonna do. I have been filming little bits and pieces of getting the nursery ready. So I will be putting that together in its own little video, along with a video on how to prepare for baby without breaking the bank. And I'm really excited about that one because that's something that people have told me all along is like, oh gosh, like when you have kids, like it's so expensive and all this stuff. Obviously, baby's not here yet, but like, yeah, setting up an entire bedroom, creating an entire wardrobe, like getting all this stuff can be very expensive. And we have been very lucky to have some of the larger items, like I mentioned, the dresser, the crib, the chair, gifted to us. But I've also been really conscious all along of finding certain items that are good to thrift and thrifting a lot of her wardrobe. I also have a spreadsheet that I'm kind of filling in to make sure I don't have too much of one size. I have just enough of each. Anyways, we're going into too much detail here, but I'm gonna do a whole different video about that. So if you're someone who is maybe early in your pregnancy or just likes learning of different ways to save money, I'm really excited about filming that video. So if you're enjoying these pregnancy updates and following along on this journey with me, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below to let me know you have joined. I love bringing this kind of content to you guys, and I'm so excited about all the videos we have coming for the future. We also have our baby names list narrowed down to the top 7. So now I feel good about filming the video of baby names we love but won't be using. So that is going to be coming soon as well. So stay tuned for all of those fun new videos coming your way.